Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome. Oh wait. I'm stupid. Hold on. There we go. Wait. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Hello everyone. Today because I am the hugest like Spider-Man SIMP. Remember, we're on Twitch. This is going to YouTube later. I'm so excited for No Way Home, and from my hopes of what No Way Home is going to be, it's going to be a huge crossover of all three. Hopefully. So what I wanted to do is make a huge tier list based on 5 categories: the movies, the characters, the villains, the Spider people we see throughout the movies, and I include Spider-Verse because you have to include Spider-Verse, and then Peter Parker. Well, Peter Parker then Spider-Man. So, and by each character, we have Gwen Stacy from Spider-Verse, we have Gwen Stacy from Toby's, and then we have Gwen Stacy from Andrews. So basically, this is going to go super in depth for all of the Spider-Man characters. Okay. I guess there's nothing really else to like mention. I'll just start because I think this tier list is gonna be a little too long. Unless you have anything to say, Nova. Hold on, sorry, I'm just messing with volume. Now I have nothing to say. Okay. Okay. Nova, since you're my only audience member, do you know anything about Spider-Man? If you say no, I'm like, damn, I'm really talking to myself here. She's like, Spider who? Is that one guy I saw like I've seen Spider-Man Home. You disgust me. Make fun of her. Okay. So first we'll start with the movies, right? Right? Okay. For the movies you have, where is it? We have to start with Spider-Man 1. Yo, Suit, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Long time no see. Sorry I took a small hiatus. It was with college and stuff. I got busy. But first we'll start with Spider-Man 1, for the first ever Spider-Man movie, right? I think this has to be like, hold on, I have to think. I think this has to be spectacular. Okay, so wait, there's like six rankings. Dumpster fire means this is trash. D means while it's not the worst of the worst, it's still pretty bad. Why is there 2 C's? Nani? Delete row. Oh, there needs to be a B. You idiot. Oh Lord. Hold on. Okay. There. Okay, there we go. And obviously, a spectacular is like S tier. Best of the best is like, you have your S tiers, but then you have like these like 1 or 2 things that are like beyond everything else. Amazing is just A tier. I just did that for Spectacular Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man. So for like the first Spider-Man film, you gotta remember this is the thing that started the superhero trend, right? Not only do you have like relatable characters in Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker, you have probably some of the strongest characters in all superhero movies, to be honest. Like, yes, there's like Tony Stark as Iron Man, but as a perfect casting, you have J. Jonah Jameson as, I forgot the actor's name. I'm a horrible human being, but I love this. He is the most perfect J. Jonah I've ever seen. He's like the perfect iteration from character to actor. I think there's too many good things about Spider-Man 1, but now that I think about it, I probably have to put it amazing. Here's why. I feel like, because I rewatched Spider-Man 1 recently, because we were doing this entire thing for Far From Home. Or No Way Home, rather. Spider-Man 1 kind of has awkward editing, where you're just watching it, right? And then it's just like fade to black, or like white. And it's not bad per se, but now that I think about it, I feel like Spider-Man 1 needed some like, I feel like 10 more minutes of runtime, or 20. It felt like it went scene to scene instead like a fluidity, if that makes sense. So I think for all the great things Spider-Man 1 has to offer, also has one of the best villains in most likely, like, all the Spider-Man films. No offense. There's no MCU Spider-Man villain that has top Green Goblin, I would say. No offense to Mysterio. I like Jake Gyllenhaal. I think that's his name. Wasn't the best. Vulture, top tier. We'll get to there when we go to villains. But I think for right now, Spider-Man 1 has to be an amazing. Okay, Spider-Man 2, if it's not obvious, it's spectacular. I would put it best of the best, but here's the thing. Best of the best is honestly like one or two things I'm probably going to put tier max. Just on itself, Spider-Man 2 is probably the best superhero film I've ever seen, and probably the best superhero film indefinite. What I missed? Basically, you missed nothing, but we're just sipping for the movie. Oh, crap, I'm going to get banned from Twitch. Oh, why is that word banned? You missed nothing. All you missed is ranking Spider-Man 1 and 2 so far. Spider-Man 1 is an amazing, Spider-Man 2 is an spectacular. Right now we're doing movies. We're going to do characters, villains, and yada, yada, yada later. Spider-Man 2, right? Not only is Doc Ock a great villain, in my opinion, I don't know if he trumps Green Goblin as a pure, I know, right, the S word, as a pure villain, like motivation-wise. Doc Ock is a better villain than Green Goblin. But as a pure fear factor of what you want from your villain, Green Goblin does trump Doc Ock, in my opinion. Like, I would rather fight that... I wouldn't want to fight that Green Ranger. I would rather fight, you know, Dr. Hentai over here. But essentially, Spider-Man 2 is... It kind of breaks superhero movies in a sense, because it's not just a superhero movie. It's also, like, a character piece on Peter Parker, because most of the movie doesn't even have his Spider-Man suit. And also it has to be spectacular because of the extra credit scenes with J. Jonah Jameson where he's in the Spider-Man suit, and like those bonus scenes he's like, you, and then I love it to death. Okay, spectacular. You know, for the movies it's pretty easy to rank. Oh well, the movies are gonna be long to rank because I gotta like give my entire opinion. Like there's some, like Electro, eventually you know where he's going. Okay, Spider-Man 3, where are you? 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 Right there. Oh, people are gonna hate me. Okay. People are gonna hate me. I think... Oh, I'm so close to putting Spider-Man 3 in amazing, right? There's many reasons why I'll put Spider-Man 3 in amazing. But there's also many reasons why I don't want to. Let's go with the negatives first. Bloated villain cast. Like, no offense, Venom didn't have to be there. You could just, if there was going to be a Spider-Man 4, you could set up Spider-Man 3 as the black suit. At the end of 3, he gets rid of it, and then 4 sets up Venom. New Goblin, while I love Franco, I forgot first name, was kind of awkward here. Freaking Venom was the guy from That 70s Show. Where is it? Eric Foreman, right? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Right. I can't find him, but you can probably see him. It's mainly villains, and also what the black suit was. While I love the rendition of the black suit, it's what Peter, you know, Bully Maguire, though, right? He turned into Bully Maguire, where he started, like, hip thrusting and sexually harassing women. But minus the sexually harassing women, we all love Bully Maguire. Look at us now. Like, Bully Maguire is one of the best memes for Spider-Man. I think the black, like, hold on. I'll play it, even though I might get, like, copyright strike. But, I think it's too worth. Oh, plug into YouTube. Right here. I think the black suit theme is one of the best themes. Oh, shit. There we go. I think the black suit theme is probably one of the... I'm broke as fuck. What are you broke? I think the black suit is probably one of the best themes in, like, almost every Spider-Man film. I didn't like the I understand you have to do this, especially, like, this was kind of a... What the heck? Yo, thank you for the 100 bits. Wait, was this my Christmas gift? Thank you. Oh, wow, now you have, like, a freaking little Crystal thing by your name. But thank you so much. It really means a lot. Damn, I lost my point of view. Spiderman was a great villain.
What?
Oh my god. Oh god. Now I have to SIMP for you. Sandman was an okay villain. New Goblin was an okay villain. Venom was an okay villain. Kind of. He was just rushed in there. Spider-Man 3 just has okay villains. I think but it has great plot points. I'm not a fan of the Mary Jane stuff because honestly, with Spider-Man 2, in my opinion, after doing a rewatch, I kind of realized Mary Jane is kind of toxic in a lot of ways. Not to get into there now, but like, at least, you know, Spider-Man 2. Well, let's not get into it. I think for all the love I have for it, I'm gonna put it at B. But I'm so close to putting it at C because I know the hate it gets. And let's get this out of here before I get like banned from freaking Twitch. But I'm gonna put it on B. Okay, so now we're into Andrew's Spider-Man. And immediately I know where this is going. Have you seen all the Spider-Man movies? Yes, I've seen all the Spider-Man movies. I know. I know. I'm single. So Amazing Spider-Man, right? Amazing Spider-Man is either B or C. I don't think it can go in Amazing, despite its name being Amazing Spider-Man. The reason I say this is, one, I know people really love this suit, or like, some people like the suit. I'm not a biggest fan of the suit. I definitely like the more traditional style. I can understand what they go for. Look at Doc Connors, the Lizard. You're gonna hear this from me when I go back to the villains. He needed a snout. He just, if people complain about how Spider-Man 1's Green Goblin looked like a Power Ranger, this man looks like a freaking, I don't know, more of a Power Ranger, I guess. Or more awkward than a Power Ranger. Amazing Spider-Man also, we complain about it now with Homecoming, right? But I think we more complain about, like, there was no Uncle Ben. Yeah, Voldemort, that's what he looks like, thank you. We complain more about Uncle Ben, but Amazing retreaded the origin story, and, like, the origin story wasn't, you know, I guess it didn't work as well, in my opinion, than it did with Tobey's. Granted, it had to beat what Tobey did just a few years earlier. Also, the web shooting technology is not really his. That's just a little gripe I've always had with me personally. The web shooter technology is from Oscorp, and they're never like, we should check our security cameras to see who like saw our web shooters and got bit by a spider at the same time. I really had to put this at. And also the New York scene, I forgot to mention this. Spider-Man 1 had a lot of the Spider-Man movies, well, just both ones of not even Tom Holland's, have this moment of, hey, yo, we're New York. We're here to bang together. My bagel with cream cheese, yo. But, like, Spider-Man 1 had a decent, not Tobey's one had a very good one. Like, 100%, I could see that happening. Like, people just driving the street, freaking Green Goblin trying to kill some kids in Redhead. But then this was like, yeah, I got you, Spider-Man. I came back from my home. I drove, like, 20 minutes down the subway, and then I went on my crane so I can like move things, even though you could just swing to a building. You know, I think the New York scene didn't work well. Even though I do have good opinions of this Spider-Man, I think I have to go. I'd rather watch Spider-Man. Yeah, I'd rather watch Spider-Man 3 than I would Amazing Spider-Man 1. And that's not even because I like I said, I don't hate Amazing. It's just, I think there's way better stuff to enjoy in Spider-Man 3, like the theme, like Bully Maguire. Even though he was cringy AF, we all appreciate him now. And 2, I'm a huge SIMP, or well, 3, I'm a huge SIMP for the black suit. So let's move on with Amazing 2. Where are you? You know, I put this all in order, right? Okay, I see you. Dumpster fire. I'm sorry, do I even need to explain why? 1, this is spoilers, right? Yeah, this is all spoilers. I don't know, but Stacy died. I understand how physics work, right? But like, I think it also had she died in the same way she died in the comics, so maybe I shouldn't be saying anything. But I feel like I've seen other Spider-Man save Gwen the same way, or like save another character the way Gwen was supposed to be saved that ultimately killed her. But I guess I'm trying to think, especially with like Aunt May in Spider-Man 2 when Doc Ock dropped her. But I guess like Spider-Man like grabbed her arm or something, but with an arm, I don't know. Let's not go in physics. Gwen Stacy's a death I wasn't a big fan of. Even though I'm an MJ, like I love MJ as my like Peter MJ forever. I really liked Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy. The suit, probably the best realistic suit. Like, I love Tobey's suit. It's by #1 my favorite Spider-Man suit of all time. But, like, Andrew's Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit is, like, on point. The villains are trash. Electro. Jamie Foxx. I love you to death. Electro. Electro felt what would it be like if I was Electro. You know, like that awkward nerd. I'm like, you know, hold on, where's Electro? I can actually, hold on. Jamie Foxx, Electro, Amazing Spider-Man. Images. Hold on, where is he? No, I need to see his human form. There we go. You see that? See, you don't need to hire a man like Jamie Foxx to play this role. I got the little hair strands too. I could have played this man. Look at this. You put Jamie into such a meme role, and not even a role like, oh, I'm gonna be the loser type. You made him like a creep, a loser, and like so many things in one. And it's not even like, oh, you did this to Jamie. It's like, you just didn't make a compelling character for Electro in general. Green Goblin, it's not even actual Green Goblin, even though Harry does become Green Goblin. Green Goblin was horrible. Rhino was okay. And then you had like a whole 10 minutes dedicated to Spider-Man being depressed. It just felt weird. Yeah. So Dumpster Fire. Let's go to the we have Holland's Spider-Man movies now. Yo. There we go. Okay, Homecoming. Where would I put Homecoming? I think I have to put Homecoming just on the sheer fact of what Homecoming represented, right? So you always know Sony owns Spider-Man. That's why for the longest time there hasn't been a MCU. Oh, Spider-Man couldn't join the MCU. With this, Spider-Man finally was able to join the MCU. One, it was probably one of the best renditions of Spider-Man, and by that I mean like, while Amazing Spider-Man did have it in high school, Peter Parker is about being a high school boy, also being a superhero. The one bad thing about Tobey was even out of school. He was in college, but it was like a very minor plot point, just at some points, oh, you're failing, yada yada yada. Tobey, oh, we have a fight at school, haha, I'm in high school, yada yada yada. I feel like Homecoming, for all its downfalls, did something that a lot of the other Spider-Man's movie didn't do, and it also focused on Peter Parker. While I hate saying that, because Spider-Man 2 is literally Peter Parker as a movie, you can literally rename Spider-Man 2 the Peter Parker movie. I felt like I saw the more, like, early sides of Peter, and that's something his origin story is being a high school boy. Spider-Man 1 took him out of high school almost, like, the first 15 minutes of the movie, I believe. Yeah, that's when they graduate, right? Like, halfway? Or a little less than halfway. And even still, there was barely anything to do with it. What else? I think Tony Stark was great. I think replacing the Uncle Ben figure wasn't the best move. I think Uncle Ben is an integral part of Spider-Man. But you kind of replaced that father figure with Tony Stark. And while it wasn't the best move, it's still Tony Stark. Iron Man is great. I don't think I could put it amazing, honestly. I think I have to put it at B. I would probably rank Spider-Man 3 and this together. Where is it? Last one. Last Spider-Man. No, there's 2 more Spider-Man movies. I'm trying to find the last. Okay, here we go. Everyone's gonna hate me for this. C tier. See, remember, all these movies are okay except Amazing 2. But as a Spider-Man movie, this is definitely C tier. I got like I feel like it was this movie when like Spider-Man really heavily, and as an MCU, this is a commentary as the MCU as a whole. They lean towards the memeing side a lot more heavily. Especially you can feel it in Homecoming, where Aunt May, and I'll talk about it like with Hot May over here. With Hot May being, Hot May, everyone's trying to, bang her. Aunt May just did. It just felt like they started like, here's the source material. And here's we're gonna try to make everyone laugh within that source material every 5 seconds. Like, while I like some parts, and Spider Monkey was a funny moment. Spider Monkey. I'm trying to think other parts and it's escaping me. I actually can't think of it. But that's my commentary on Far From Home. And also, I don't know. I just didn't like what they did with the multiverse thing. I think Jake Gyllenhaal's like, haha, here's the multiverse. Oh, JK, it's not the multiverse. But then like 5 movies later, we do have the multiverse. But then his multiverse theory was so spot on with the actual Marvel. I just don't like it. C tier, it's not a bad movie. Even like Amazing Spider-Man 1 isn't bad, but it's a C tier. Okay, last movie, because we don't do Far From Home, because obviously no one's seen it. Donde está la libroteca? Did I not put Far From Home in here? No freaking way. I gotta look at this closely. No way, wait, there's no way. I didn't put Far From Home here. Okay, we're gonna put a standstill for Far From Home. It's going to be a spectacular. Spectacular, best of the best. Most likely spectacular. It's probably the best Spider-Man movie of like, not the best. It shares the throne for best, I would say. Miles, relatable character. Peter B. Parker, relatable character. Spider-Gwen, relatable character. The movie's literally called the most relatable cast ever. I like everything. Everything felt believable, even for it being an animated movie. And unlike the MCU, it didn't feel forced like every 5 seconds I had to laugh. That's more of a commentary of the MCU. Sorry about that. But yeah, great. Okay, now we're going to characters. This one is going to be a little faster. Characters. Gwen Stacy. Where's, honestly, D. You could even put, you can put her in trash. All she was to make Mary Jane jealous and then to cheat on Mary Jane. Literally, she had no reason to be in Spider-Man 3. She did nothing. She was just like 2 plot points and 2 minor plot points. I'm tempted to put her in D or dumpster fire. Honestly, yeah, dumpster fire. She did nothing. And then, like, if you're a Mary Jane, like, obviously there's people like Gwen Stacy, right? But this movie set up it's Mary Jane. So now you're like, Gwen Stacy, get the hell out of here. No one cares about you, right? Like, so I had to put her in dumpster fire. She came in too late. If you wanted to do a love triangle thing, I think, what was it? Amazing, Spectacular Spider-Man, the animated TV show. Even though it was a TV show, had more time to build. It did it a lot better with like, oh, I was going after Gwen first before Mary. Okay. Now, where's the next iteration of Gwen Stacy? Amazing. Heart and Soul of Spider-Man. By that I mean for like Andrew Spider-Man. Like, she was like the light. She was probably the best girl. No, next Gwen is best girl. My bad. She's probably one of the best girls in, like, as a love interest for Peter. Oh, she was great. She actually did stuff. She wasn't like Mary Jane, where like all she did was get captured and then like did nothing. Like, that's all she did. I think the only time Mary Jane ever tried to fight back, if I remember correctly, was Doc Ock, and then Doc Ock was like, be in your place, you know? I feel like I've actually seen her do more, support Spider-Man more, both as a lover and as a hero, and she's overall great. So amazing she goes. Spectacular. 100% best Gwen. If you disagree, you're actually crazy. Or maybe I just like 2D girls more than I like 3D girls. But I have nothing to say. She's charming. She's funny. She's smart. Like, She's the package, bro. She's also a Spider-Man. She's everything. And there's a great thing about she being a Spider-Man, right? Is unlike 100% unlike Mary Jane, and a little bit like unlike Emma Stone, because like I said, she does help. She isn't the I'm the damsel in distress category of like characters, because 100% this Mary Jane is, 40% this Gwen Stacy is, and then 0% like she is her own hero, and at that point she was even better than Miles. Okay. Next character, Mary Jane. Okay, if this was Mary Jane from Spider-Man 1, right, this would be a whole different conversation. I would put her at amazing. But then, while it showed at peaks at Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2 brought her to B, and then Spider-Man 3, honestly, I think brought her to D. So let's go with Spider-Man 1. You kind of see, like, she's beautiful, she's funny. You feel bad for her because she is coming from this abusive household. And she's also Peter's love interest, so you want to support her. But then you notice, oh, she just dumped Flash, but Flash was toxic, so I understand. And then went with Harry, despite she liking Peter. And then she went with, what's her face? Then at the end of the movie, she's like, Peter, I've always loved... No, then she was like, I love Spider-Man. But, you know, Starstruck saved her. Whatever that one thing is called. And then at the end, she's like, nah, Peter, it was always you I loved, right? So that's what... She can say it amazing for that. I don't mind. Then B, she's like, I'm going to call off my entire wedding. Oh, God, Spider-Man 2. I just watched you. There was, like, points I hated. I did not like her about Spider-Man 2. She just kind of showed what type of character she was in Spider-Man 2. In Spider-Man 3, I know for a fact, she just became jealous of Peter. I understand, like, yes, your job is going rough. Yes, I'm not gonna lie. Biggest dick move, and I don't see Spider-Man doing this personally, but I understand that at the time of the story, Peter was getting a big head as Spider-Man. That he quit Gwen Stacy as Spider-Man, so that's why I understand she was a little rough. But then she was just being so toxic, like, I don't... What was it? Yeah, she was just being toxic, just being jealous of, like, I don't need you, Peter. Why are you getting all the spotlight? Because he saves lives. You're a Broadway musical star. I'm sorry. Mary Jane from Tobey, I think just... Because they had to make it... Because Spider-Man 1's always been like a love, romance, drama thing. I think it really... Because of that category and because they had to continue it, Spider-Man 1 did it well where, oh, they never ended up together. Spider-Man 2, they ended up together. Then Spider-Man 3, they were like, oh, okay, what else do we need to write for her to continue this drama? And then in doing so, they just kind of like devalued her and like lowered her character as a whole, in my opinion. Mary Jane, oh, not even Mary Jane, MJ, and hold on. What is this girl's name? Zendaya. Oh, no. Okay, what's her name? Is she Michelle? Yeah, Michelle Jones. Zendaya, you're amazing. I love you to death. I think Spider-Man 1, Homecoming, you were funny, you were great. I liked you so much. But there's a huge argument to say you're not my MJ, right? You're not MJ. You're not Mary Jane Watson. I understand there's differences, like, you know, not everyone is the same character. You're Nick Fury. You're Peter Parker. You're still, I don't know Mysterio's real name. You're not Mary Jane. You're Michelle Jones. And while I loved your character, right? I think you're probably my favorite MJ. You're just not MJ. It's the problem. So I think for that, you have to go at C. There's not really much I know. Like, she isn't even toxic, right? She's a little emo cringe, but like still, she's not. She doesn't become toxic as MJ eventually spirals down to. She is as helpful as Emma Stone. Like, not really like in practice, but more in like motivation for Peter, especially in the second one. But like, and also MJ x Peter just happened in Far From Home. It didn't happen organically because Peter was going after this other girl, and then in two was like, I really want to ask MJ out. So I'm sorry, you're just not my MJ. Hashtag not my MJ. Mary Jane, we can honestly put you in B. Why are you going in B? Because you did nothing in the movie. You almost did nothing in the movie, but what the small parts you did, unlike Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man 1, were very big for Peter B. Parker's mentality. Like, you pushed Peter B. Parker from being the lazy slob to being a self-sacrificing hero. Granted, he was like, if I go back home, there's nothing for me to go back home to, so that's why he did it. But you did serve a purpose in the movie, right? Unlike Gwen Stacy, whose purpose was like, let's get MJ to get jealous at Peter. Or like, and use the black, yeah, so that's why MJ, okay. Characters. Uncle Ben, bro. Spectacular, right? If you needed an Uncle Ben, if you wanted Uncle Ben, granted, I understand Spider-Man 1 and 2's, Tobey's 1 and 2, and 3, uncle and aunts are more like grandpa, but if you wanted an Uncle Ben, you wanted, what does Uncle Ben stand for? It's 100% this Uncle Ben right here. He is the meaning of Peter, with great power comes great responsibility. He is that father figure to Peter, despite Peter saying, you're not my real father, or something like that. Even though he was only there for like 15 minutes. I might be wrong, but I want to say this Uncle Ben was on longer. But I might be wrong. This Uncle Ben just lasted with you. You don't forget this Uncle Ben, right? He stays in your heart. He is Peter's driving factor. And for that, I gotta give it spectacular. This Uncle Ben. What did he say? Amazing Spider-Man. Spider-Man take on great... Oh my god, why am I in cap locks? Oh. Great. What does he... He's like, if you have like a higher purpose... Amazing... Oh my god, I cannot spell. What was it? With great power... No, yeah, what did he say? There was moments where... I can't find it. He said something like, if you had a moral obligation to people, then it is your responsibility to help those people. Something like, not gratitude, but responsibility. I'm sorry, dude, just with great power comes with great responsibility. You are a B tier. I can't put you at C because you weren't a bad Uncle Ben, right? We'll get to a bad Uncle Ben. You weren't a bad Uncle Ben. You were just one. You didn't serve your purpose 100% fully, but at the same time you did, because you were like that version of Peter's motivation. So I have to I'll just put him at B, because I don't know where to put him. Honestly, I'm tempted. I'll put him at C, because I feel like even this MJ served a higher purpose than what this Ben Parker did. And then the best Ben Parker of all, Suitcase Ben Parker. By that I mean, because freaking Tom Holland doesn't even have a Ben Parker, it's just a suitcase. Right? You don't even see his death, you just see a suitcase. So, best of the best, because he served his purpose as a suitcase. 100%, I'm not joking, he's the best Ben Parker we got. I'm crying inside. Okay! Man, because we're already 30-40 minutes in, and we're still in characters, holy crap. Okay. Man, you wanted America's grandma? Right there. That's America's grandma right there. You know what? I'll put her in amazing. Because, she's definitely the best Aunt May we ever have. I don't mean a Tobey SIMP, but there's going to be a lot of Tobey characters here. She's our grandma. She's your mom. If you grew up watching the Spider-Man movies, you know her, you love her. She's probably the most, like, important Aunt May of the bunch. Amazing Spider-Man 2, she was almost non-existent. She was important all throughout the 3 movies, especially 2. And 2 even nodded, I know you're Spider-Man, Peter. You have to do what's right. And then, like, she has the balls to fight freaking Doc Ock. I love this girl. And then she even, like, when, like, the gold coin, like, passed down, and then the baker was gonna get her, she, like, smacked her hand, like, no, 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 that's not what God would do. I love Aunt May. I love this version of Aunt May. D. Why is she D? Great actress. I've seen her in other movies. I don't know what she did. At least with Gwen Stacy, I have a passion that I didn't like her in the movie. This Aunt May, I 100% forgot she was in the movie. D. I just don't remember. Aunt May, D. Very, very, very. You know what? No. D. Yeah. You want to know why she's a D? She does not serve the purpose of what Aunt May does. Aunt May, even in this movie, I'm not, like I said, I'm not too sure. They were like a moral compass for Peter. When Peter needed someone the most, yes, they had MJ, yes, they had their love interest, but Aunt May was that mother figure. Everyone was just trying to bang Aunt May, bro. Like, and then they memed Aunt May. That's what I'm trying to say earlier with the MCU. They memed her. Like, she serves no purpose but just to be like the hot, ditzy aunt. Everything Aunt May and Uncle Ben stood for, honestly, just went to Tony Stark. So they devalued both Uncle Ben and Aunt May. Aunt May is only here to be like, oh yeah, Peter doesn't live alone, right? Like, that's the only way I can think of. Even in Spider-Man 1, like, yeah, Homecoming. Yeah, she did nothing. I'm sorry, she's a D. Best Aunt May, honestly. Also, best gilf of the 21st century. These two have to be on Spectacular. Hold on. I have to push Tobey's Aunt May to amazing, and then Into the Spider-Verse's Aunt May into Spectacular for one reason, and one reason only. She served what America's grandma did for us. Was that it? No. She served what America's grandma did for us, and then... Oh, Lord. Wait, my bad. She served what... Sorry, I was looking at stream. She served what America's grandma did for us, and then more, right? She was able... She was a huge part to, like, help the other Spider-Man succeed, show them to Spider-Man's lair. And the one good thing I did like about this one is eventually she did, like, help her son. Oh, yes, be a good Spider-Man, right? And this one did it too, but this one did it a lot better without memeing on the character. Okay. What's our next character? Because that's Aunt May. Harry Osborn. Amazing. James Franco is an amazing actor, even though he's boggled down by a lot of Seth Rogen, smoking movies. Because even though they are funny, I like them. It's just... Wait, what's the point? Yeah, I was talking about the actual actor. Great character. You can feel his resentment. He's like, yeah, you saw Spider-Man bring your dad's dead body. Only stupid thing is the entire plot point. I wiped the blade with the injury of and it came from the glider. I wiped the blade. Honestly, dude, if you knew Spider-Man didn't kill him, you should have said that plot point like 100 years ago. It's the only thing that kind of like drove his character down, because you redeemed Harry Osborn in the worst way possible. Yeah, Harry, I always knew your dad killed himself, but he killed the blade with the glider of the piercing of the glider. So 100%, I would say he's amazing, if not the character. This gets boggled down by Spider-Man 3. Honestly, really. Spider-Man 1, you felt he's a daddy's boy. All he wants to do is make his dad proud. And then in doing so, it warped his mind so much that once he found his dad's dead body and Spider-Man next to it, that his life goal was to hunt Spider-Man. It's totally understandable. I think Spider-Man 3 just ruins it. But it ruins a lot of characters, like Gwen Stacy. Because Gwen would have been... Oh, not Gwen. Mary Jane. I told you Mary Jane would have been, like, at least B or C. Okay. Harry Osborn, dumpster fire. I get it. You're sick, and then you were on vacation. Spider-Man 1, and then you just showed up Spider-Man 2, and apparently you were friends. Yeah. No. No. Good actor, but no. Best of the best. For one reason and one reason only. I wouldn't want to fight me either. I love. Oh god, that one line. You know what? Realistically, I'm putting you at C. That line is amazing though. Actual Amazing Spider-Man. What's his face? Flash has to be higher because he was a bully, bro. He was. I would say while this one was the stereotypical bully, and you could say Flash Thompson's an Amazing was a lot more stereotypical. I felt like if I wanted to fight someone, even though this man right here felt like he was bigger muscle wise, I don't want to face this bully, and that's really it. And I think Flash Thompson should be menacing, unlike this one. They mean again going back to they mean the MCU. They mean Flash Thompson. You could say, oh, this is just a rendition of Flash Thompson. He can, in no universe, I'm sorry, is this man Agent Venom. Like, Peter's a nerd, yes, but this man is even more of a nerd, yet he's somehow, I guess, more popular or something, because I don't understand, because here's the hierarchy, right? How is someone less popular than you going to bully you? I understand he's rich, but, like, still, like, I'm so close to putting it. The only reason he survives dumpster fire is because he, as a character, he's not bad. As Flash Thompson, he's horrible. Controversial opinion. See, Eric Foreman as Venom. The one reason why he's seen, right, is because you can actually feel his like transformation into wanting to kill Spider-Man. In my opinion, at least, I know a lot of people meme on him. I know a lot of people hate him. That's why he's only on C, by the way. But especially that scene where he went to when Peter told him, I forgot what the exact line is, but go find forgiveness, right? Or like go to a church if you want forgiveness. And he went to a church, and after all the crap he saw Eddie go through, he's like, I want you to kill Peter Parker. I think that moment alone didn't sold me as him as Eddie Brock, but gave me like, damn, this is the lowest of the low Eddie Brock, like when he hates Spider-Man. That is like when you see the spectacular shows when he hates Spider-Man, that moment gave me that same vibe. I don't think he was Eddie Brock before that. Even after that Venom suit, I don't think he was the best Eddie Brock nor a good Venom. But that moment doesn't put him in dumpster nor D for me. It has to put him in C. Eddie Brock. Amazing. Tom Holland is Eddie. Oh, we'll put him B. No, we'll put him amazing. Oh. We'll put him upper tier B after this because I do like Venom. I think it's just a fun popcorn movie. Eddie Brock, 100%. I like Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock. And also, one problem, Eddie Brock took his stress out in the gym. You're not a gym bro. I can at least see you do weights. And you had a good rendition of Eddie Brock. I liked you. Best of the best, J. Jonah Jameson. There's literally no question asked. You watch Spider-Man 1 through 3, the most iconic moments and the most meme moments are J. Jonah Jameson. If you don't like J. Jonah Jameson, I'm sorry, you're just crazy. And that's actually, yeah, that's all of it. So now we're in, yeah, we're done. Okay, so now we're in best villains. Oh God. Okay, we're gonna. I didn't realize we're almost an hour in, so we're gonna like push this up a little. This sounds like Assassin's Creed. This is my PS4 theme. I just realized that. We're starting with Green Goblin, right? Yeah, Green Goblin. Spectacular. Spectacular. Literally, I told you, even though Doc Ock is probably the best villain as a character, I do not want to fight this man. I think what is a villain supposed to represent? It's supposed to be, in my opinion, a pure antagonist. This is my PS4 Spider-Man theme. Okay, this is like, he's like, oh, okay, never mind. I'm getting sidetracked. As a villain, for me, what that represents is I want a foe that is supposed to be your complete opposite, right? And Green Goblin has always been the opposite of Peter. But this man is just pure evil and pure sadistic, and I think, at least with Doc Ock, I can beg for forgiveness. He might kill me, like he tried to kill Aunt May, but he dropped Aunt May knowing Spider-Man would pick him up, and then he'll, like, you know, even though he probably assumed Aunt May would have died, even if he, like, succeeded with his plan. Green Goblin would kill anyone. He literally said, "I'll kill your little girlfriend nice and slow." Green Goblin's amazing. 100% Green Goblin's amazing. Green Goblin, dumpster fire. Literally, if this man's a Power Ranger, this man's like a troll from Trolls. I'm sorry, worst Green Goblin. Ultimate Green Goblin, I gotta give you D. You were, and this is gonna be sadly for a lot of Into the Spider-Verse villains, you weren't bad, but I had to give it to, like, I gotta go back to this May Parker, where I said, you were very, not that I forgot you were there, because I feel like that was a little more harsh. You served your purpose as a fighting stick, and that's really all. Like, that's all you did. You were just a fighting stick. Doc Ock, right? Yes, Doc Ock. Amazing. Why amazing? Because he's probably the best villain. As a whole character, like I said, as a pure evil force, Green Goblin is #1 by far. As a character, though, Doc Ock is tied with a future villain that will come up soon. Amazing. Had a great motivation. Had a sad villain origin story. Didn't want to become a villain, but his arms kind of morphed him, kind of made him crazy. One of the best villain sequence ever. Like, if you thought Green Goblins had like a horror movie sequence, Doc Ock, especially when, like, she's dragging the girl and her nails are like clenching the floor, like just scraping the floor. Great sequence. I can't give it anything else but amazing. What else? This Doc Ock. She won't be in D because I actually quite like her. She's one of the few villains that actually had a character. Not a few villains. Honestly, it's like half of the villains didn't have a character. The other half did. I'll give it to B. She was funny. She was great. I thought she was a good guy too. Good person, good girl. I don't know. I loved her as Doc Ock, and then when the reveal's like, yeah, I'm Doc Ock, she just became like this, like, you know, Hanji from Attack on Titan. That's the vibe she gave, and because of that, I loved her. Not because she reminded me of a different character. I just love the vibe she spewed. Okay, now we're going to Goblin, Doc Ock, New Goblin. Yeah, I forgot. I'm stuck between C and D, right? In one hand, I want to give it D because he wasn't, like, the best. But on the other hand, C, this is the build-up. This is the build-up from the end of Spider-Man 1. You could even say Spider-Man because it's like, it follows the Goblin storyline, the Osborn storyline. This is the build-up from the end of 1. Continuing it from 2. And then not the climactic, but the climactic reveal for his character as, oh my god, my dad was the Green Goblin. And still, you didn't realize your dad was I hate this man. Okay, right? While it makes sense why he should be here, if they were going to do New Goblin, they should have just did it by himself. His look was too, like, early 2010s, like they try to make it like, I'm cool and hipster. Yeah, I have to give it D. I love you, Harry. And he also became a good guy, so really should even be in the best villain category. Sandman. He's a tricky one. He's stuck between B and A, and literally, while he wasn't the best character, his backstory was dumb. Not not like his origin story, like trying to help his daughter. His backstory of like, oh yeah, I was your Uncle Ben killer. They retconned something they shouldn't have retconned, like why mess with continuity? When the continuity was good. I think I had to put in amazing. One reason and one reason only. It's that scene right there. 100% that scene. When you look at that scene, you're like, holy crap, is that a... When you see this scene, right? This could be its own scene in a short film. This scene is beyond amazing. This scene is beyond touching. This scene is amazing. Honestly, I have no words. I could almost cry watching every time I watch this scene. Like, you feel bad for him. Like, you think like, oh, this is the end of the line for him. It's literally just for that one scene. Otherwise, he would have been with Doc Ock over here. Fem Doc Ock. And B. I think this scene pushed him where, unlike any of these other people got pushed, for like a single scene. But is he Doc? Oh, okay. You're going a high B. You're going number 1 B. You're two. I couldn't give it to you in amazing. Not looking at everything, at all these, I couldn't give it to you. Especially, I don't think you're Doc Ock level. Okay, you're B. Sandman. Now we're going to Venom. Hello. Yeah. Yeah, this Venom wasn't that good. He really wasn't. And plus, half the time, it was just freaking Eric Foreman's face with a black suit on. And the CGI when Venom wasn't good. And the only reason, by the way, we're doing Eddie Brock from Venom and Venom from Venom is because they're now MCU in the MCU. That's why. This Venom though, amazing. It has to be. He was the best part of Venom. Like Eddie Brock and Venom, honestly, they could go hand in hand. Mr. Longterm, oh my god, you disgust me. Honestly, yeah, Venom was the best part of his movie. He saved his movie. Like, the Venom movie is not good. But the character, mainly Eddie Brock, but mainly Venom is what saved that movie. Oh, you disgust me, you fool. Okay. What are we in now? Lizard. Best Marvel, best character ever. Oh, no. This is, as Christian said, freaking Voldemort over here. D. He's a D villain. He had a... Here's the thing about the Lizard's, like, motivation. It always was like, I want to lizardize everyone. Looky. I hate you, Nova. Right? That was... Wait, you think the Venom movie is good, Nova? That was his motivation, though, all the entire time. Like, I want to lizardize everyone. And then this movie just didn't work that well, honestly, right? In my opinion, it didn't work that well. I think there was a lot better characters, better villains, rather. And plus, they just effed up the villain. Like, look, if everyone's memeing on him, but I think him is even worse. I'll give you C. I think you were good. You You're definitely better than DC. Yeah, I have to give you C. When Venom gets back to Eddie. Yo, okay, I'm not gonna lie. Also, with Venom, we saw Fem Venom, and I swear to God, I've never been more turned on by, like, a black sludge in my life. Oh, I'm sorry. Rhino! D. Literally going back to this goblin. Yes! Go. Yeah! Going back to this, this goblin right here, you served no purpose. No purpose at all. No purpose. You were there like, oh, Spider-Man. I mean, honestly, I'll give you C because I actually laughed at the beginning where you weren't Rhino, because when you're Rhino, you're really stupid. I laughed during the car chase scene in the beginning of Amazing too. Dumpster fire. Dumpster fire. He doesn't even look like Electro. He looks like freaking, I'm Aquaman, but like a fishy Aquaman. Gonna get a lot of hate into this. Vulture is gonna be spectacular. Why is this? Vulture had a compelling villain story as Doc Ock, in my opinion. And then he showed you, like, I'm not gonna lie, people meme on him being like, oh, he's the Vulture. That scene in the car where he had the gun, and I was like, told like, you have a choice. You can go in there and enjoy your dance, but if you come after me, I will kill you. To a 15-year-old, I want to say Peter was like 15 or 16 at the time. That was haunting, bro. What's his name? Not Michael Caine. Vulture. Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton. One of the best actors I've ever seen, and in this role, he was an amazing Venom, both in and out of the suit. While Osborn is the same, and then Doc Ock has the character. I think even though Green Goblin was more terrifying, what Vulture did was able to bounce between these two so perfectly that I had to give him Spectacular. I think for villains, he might even be best of the best, but I don't think so. See, shocker. I like you. Technically, there was no need to fear. Cypress is here. Welcome, Cypress. We're ranking all the movie characters and stuff. For Shocker, there was 2 Shockers. Yes, I know. I prefer this Shocker, and like he's the main continuity Shocker. He's a C. He's just a beat stick, but he had more character than the Green Goblin, so that's why he's a C for me. Freaking Jake Gyllenhaal. You had to be a B villain because you weren't a beat stick, right? So I can't put you here. You served your purpose and you outplayed Nick Fury, so you're not a bad villain. I just think everything you did, and I just think your explanation is dumb. I'm just gonna say it. Like when I found out it was all fake, which made sense, I was like, I don't like him. But I think he did. He won. He's the only villain in any Spider-Man movie to win. If you didn't know, yes, he died at the end. He won at that movie. He won. He beat Peter Parker. He beat Spider-Man. That's not a lot of things villains can say. What else? Kingpin. I'll also put you a B. I'll put you a B for one reason only. You're nice and fat, just like I like them. No, I'm joking. Kingpin. The reason I like you. Wait, Kingpin is hot? You like Kingpin? I just need to make sure. But Kingpin is great because his motivation was actually good. Like, it wasn't like, I'm a villain, especially he's a rich villain, right? So you expected, like, I have all this money, so I'm going to be evil to be evil. He wanted to see his family. He wanted to see his family again. Despite being a villain, that's a noble cause. That's a noble deed. Despite he was gonna destroy the multiverse, but look at freaking Peter Parker No Way Home. They're essentially sharing the same motivation, right? He wants to see his family. He wants a normal life again. Kingpin was probably, for a B villain, he's probably the best villain there was for the B category. Prowler, A. 100% A. Was the Uncle Ben to Miles was a perfect villain and died a noble way. There's talks for, honestly, Prowler could be here, Prowler could be here, and Prowler could be here. Honestly, Prowler, I don't know where to put you. I think because while, yes, you were a villain, and while you were hunting Miles without realizing he was Miles, it was a little terrifying. Yeah, I know, right? I think you're probably one of the... okay, you know what? I'll say you're better than Doc Ock. Heck, I'll even say you're better than Green Goblin without putting you in Spectacular. I think for what your character was, as a character, you were amazing. As a villain, you weren't... The sad thing was once he realized he was Miles, he kind of left that villain side for a little bit, and that's why as a villain I couldn't rate him all the way. But 100%, you're one of the best villains, antagonists in Spider-Man. In the Spider-Man films, at least. Scorpion, Beatstick, I didn't even remember. I literally forgot half of your body was like scorpion legs. Like, does anyone remember that someone he had... I remember he had a body. I forgot, like, he had these little legs. Tombstone. See, only because literally, like I said, half of the Spider-Verse villains are gonna be in this category. Okay, second to last category, we have the Peter Parkers, starting with Tom Holland. Tom Holland. Like you're such a fan. First, Miles is a great dude. What do you mean? Oh my god, you're gonna hate for that. Spectacular. No, amazing. No, best of the best. Remember, by the way, this category, this is Peter Parker, right? I need you to understand. We have best Spider-Man, best Peter Parker. That means we're talking about the character Peter Parker and the character Spider-Man. Yes, they can be separated. For all the hate he gets, spectacular. I think he's the best Peter Parker we've gotten. And I'll defend it with the other two nominees. Andrew Garfield, D. The reason why Tom Holland's spectacular, the reason why he's D, you see more Peter Parker from him than you'll ever see from him. Andrew Garfield is too cool to be Peter. 100%. As a hipster, he skateboards, he doesn't get bullied, and then when he gets his powers, I wouldn't say he gets cocky, but he overuses his powers. As Peter Parker, that's one of the core things about Peter Parker that both Tobey and Tom Holland follow. You don't use your powers as Peter Parker. Just because you have these powers means you have a great responsibility. I have multiple scenes where I can think of. The only time he did it but by accident, Tobey, was with punching Flash, but that's because he didn't realize he had his powers. Andrew, basketball scene. Football scene where you like threw the football and then it like boom on the freaking and then it like bent the freaking metal pole. Like, Andrew Garfield, you're too cool, you're too cocky. I don't think you can. As a Peter Parker, you're not. With great power comes great. Thank you, Noah. You're not the best Peter Parker. Honestly, I could put you at C to be nice because you're not bad. You're just not Peter Parker. But because you're not Peter Parker, I gotta give you D. You are the nerdy, shy, kind of like glitzy kid. I actually see this man as a high schooler. That's why you're spectacular. I'm sorry. I have to give you B. I have to give Tobey's B. I'm stuck between B or A, only because you weren't. I'll give you amazing. Actually, I'll give you amazing. Never mind. I'll give you amazing. As a pure Peter Parker, I have to give it to Tom. It's hard to explain, or maybe I'm just really bad with words. This man exuberates the Peter Parker character more than Tobey, and especially more than Tom. Next Peter Parker is, okay, we did those three. Best meme of the meme. You want to know why he's up here? 100% why he's up here? Hold on. This man is the only man to do a really bad Christmas deal, and that's why this man is the best Peter Parker. Also, he had the fame, he had money, he had his girl, Aunt May. He had so much money he was able to make an underground lab. So aside from the meme, like 100%, this is the best. Like, as a meme, he's the best Peter Parker, right? And it's sad because we only saw, dude, we saw only 10 seconds of that Peter Parker. He died protecting Miles. And then, like, the rest of it, like, yeah, I made my own Christmas special. I have the love of my life. Everybody just loves me. This man is like, you know, as an adult Peter Parker, this man had it all. I have to get, that's why, as a meme best of the best, realistically, he'd be like D, because you just don't see him. As a meme, though, best of the best. Peter P. Parker, either spectacular or amazing. I'm gonna give it spectacular. I think this man, we have to go back to Prowler, right? While Prowler was the Uncle Ben as well, you had like, I would also say he's also like an Uncle Ben to Miles. He's a mentor in many ways. Peter B. Parker is very fitting because Peter Ben, I want to say. So like he was the uncle almost. Great. He had probably the best story arc. 100% the best story arc. Miles was the main character, so I understand why. Like, oh, what about Miles? I think he had like you felt he was nothing. While Miles was nothing, he was nothing because he just started out. Peter B. Parker was nothing because he fell so far from swinging so high, and then he had to climb his way back up. I think Peter B. Parker, one of the best Peter Parker renditions we've ever seen. Is that all of them? Oh yeah, that's all of them. Okay, Spider-Man. Last category, everyone. Spider-Man. Oh my god, what do you want to do after this? Want to play some Phasma? Want to go on some Halo Infinite? Oh god, how long has this been? An hour long! Let's go. Okay. Spider-Man's. You're gonna hate me, D. He wasn't bad. He was funny. I liked it, right? So you're like, he's on D. Why are you putting him D? Funny. I liked him. He wasn't bad. He's just like, he's too weird, bro. He's too weird. I'll put him in C, okay? I'll put him in C. Because he's definitely not this level. I'll put him high C, right? He's a pig. It's not like it was a breath of fresh air because Into the Spider-Verse isn't at all like the MCU. He was just too much of a joke for the joke. Spider-Man Noir, he's voiced by Nick Cage, so he's S tier. No, realistically, Spider-Man Noir is either top of C, bottom B, and I put him bottom B only because one, he's voiced by Nick Cage. One, I just like his character was great. Like he had this entire 70s style, like I'm gonna go get me some pop. But like that's all he was. Like for the next few Spider-Man, excluding maybe this one a little, they didn't like even Spider-Pig had more screen time than Spider-Man Noir. So I can't really give it. I just prefer Spider-Man Noir more. So bottom B, top of C. Penny Parker. Oh my god, is she my baby. Oh baby. Oh baby. Oh baby. Oh baby. Penny Parker, bro. I love her. She was actually you're talking about like freaking. Where is it? There it is. You're talking about Spider-Ham being different and a breath of fresh air for Into the Spider-Verse. Penny Parker was honestly just something so different, even more than any of the Spider-Man. She was adorable and she exuberates anime. Exuberates, bro. As a weeaboo myself, I loved it. I gotta give her top of B. I don't think she's A. Because one, this is just my personal opinion that's pushing her this far. And I don't think she's amazing enough to B. I don't think she's an A tier character because she had the same problem as all three. Even though I still think Pig was had the most screen time out of these three. They would just push it aside when it came to Peter B, Spider-Gwen, and Miles. Great Spider-Man though, especially when you thought her dad Spider was gonna die. And then we go with Spider Sweats. Look at this man. Look at this man. You see that ass? You see that caricature? He's so great. He's not even wearing socks, bro. Imagine how much freaking dirt his feet might have. Okay. Oh my god, yeah, because he then like just goes to the. Doesn't he like hide in the forest after this? Okay. No sock man. I like to call him Spider Sweats myself. I'm stuck between amazing or top of B, right? The reason top of B, I think I'm gonna put it top of B because as a Spider-Man until the end of the film, and I'm gonna stick with Spider Sweats because that's what he was the majority of the film. I just love how why does he wear sweatpants? Like, does he not wear the bottom half of his suit? Okay, but the reason why I oh, that's adorable. Is his butt too big? I'm actually genuinely questioning why he's wearing sweatpants right now. That's normal. The reason why Spider Sweats has to be B is because he is kind of the loser father figure until the end of the movie. Even though he does show responsibility, he like he ate all the fries and then he pushed it off to Miles to pay the bill. Well, that was more Peter B. Parker, but yeah. I gotta give it to Spider. Yeah, B. Yeah, because he also, in this scene, he also had to be saved by Miles. So he wasn't like the best Spider-Man till the end. It was so tight he couldn't wear it. That's why. Yeah, that seems about right. Spider-Gwen. First of all, I wanted to make this category, but I figured it would be too long, and I was right, already hitting about an hour and 12 minutes. I think Spider-Gwen is probably, like, suit design. That's the category I want to add. Probably, with Miles, by the way, is one of the best designed suits of Spider-Man. Not only is white and red one of the best highlight colors, in my opinion, I think white and red mix so well. I think the character, look where Emma Stone is. She's in Spectacular. I think Spider-Gwen is an amazing Spider-Man. The only reason why Spider-Gwen is here and not with herself here is like literally because while honestly, in my opinion, you look at Peter Parker and you look at Spider-Man. They're two different characters. There'll always be two different characters, right? There's this quote by Stan Lee that I always love when it refers to Spider-Man, and that is, Spider-Man wears his mask to hide his fear. He makes those jokes because he's scared. Because remember, he's just a teenager. He's just a kid. Like, when he puts on that mask, all his fear hides away. And by that in turn, those are two different characters. The only problem with Spider-Gwen is that she's just Gwen. So while I love her to death, while she is amazing, Gwen Stacy into the Spider-Verse is already in Spectacular. So because of that, I'll put Spider-Gwen in amazing. Damn, bro, that's kind of deep. Thank you. Miles, a Spectacular. You know why he's Spectacular? Because I can resonate him with the color of my... No. He's great. He's... Honestly, if you were to make a new Spider-Man, he is the purest sense of Peter Parker that there is Peter Parker. He's a boy that struggled just like Peter. He's a boy that has a sense of justice just like Peter. I think Miles Morales is probably... Like, I'm not a fan of how, like, Marvel is like, oh, we're gonna, like, make a new version of the character now. Like, there's Thor Woman, there's She-Hulk. I'm not saying those characters are bad. I'm just saying we should make new characters. But I think Miles per se is one of the best. Like if we're gonna reintroduce a character, especially into the main universe, Miles is 100% the best way to do it. He's just a great character. You did not. What did I do not? What did I did not? Wait, what did I do? Okay, so now that we got the Spider-Verse characters out of the way, we're now into the main three. Tom Holland. Tom Holland Spider-Man. B. I have to give it to B because one, as Spider-Man, he is the most talkative, right? He is 100% the most Spider-Man is like the superhero who doesn't talk, almost like Deadpool in a way. This man does not stop talking, and you see that especially in the airport fight scene in Civil War when he's like, "You do realize there's not this much talking during a fight, right?" He does his quips, he does his stuff great. No complaints, B. Honestly, I think though if you had to pick, I think this one is probably I think Andrew Garfield's for all the he has his Peter Parker probably has the best Spider-Man, right? He does a lot of quips. I want to say Tom Holland does more, but to be fair, to be 100% fair, right? You could say, oh, but that's more, quips is more true to Spider-Man. You gotta remember, MCU is very memed. Like I said, like the entire argument earlier, the MCU is a meme thing. So obviously, from the meme movies, you're gonna get more jokes from the character. I think from a darker universe, which Andrew Garfield's is, he does not stop talking. Especially remember that first time where he becomes Spider-Man with his Spider-Man suit, not like the weird one, but then he's like, "Oh, I gotta sneeze," and then he like whams the man's crotch to a wall. I think he's the most fastest. He's the most cocky. He's the most agile, and he uses his web shooters. Like we see Toby, we see Tom Holland use their web shooters, right? Stick something, web swing away. You know, I feel like my opinion, I've seen more Andrew use his web shooters more creatively, and Spider-Man is known for fighting with his web shooters, like using that as a creative way to stop things. I think Andrew Garfield is probably the best Spider-Man we've ever had. Especially Amazing Spider-Man 2, where his costume is more faithful. I 100% think his Spider-Man is probably the best Spider-Man we've ever had. Oh yeah. I think because what the topic is, I'm not saying he's better than Prowler or any of these characters. I think because of the topic, we're on a Spider-Man topic, I have to rank that one as the top of A tier. Bottom of B tier, Spider-Man. Or not bottom of B tier, but I guess I would put it like behind Tom Holland's. Toby Spider-Man is great, 100% great. Only problem is, I saw this video, right? It was like every Spider-Man joke between all three movies. It was like a 17-minute video. I want to say a 12-minute video. Toby's Spider-Man, 2 minutes out of that 17 minutes, right? I don't think, like every joke they ever made, Toby isn't a bad Spider-Man, but who the character Spider-Man is, I don't see it. I see more fear from this Spider-Man, and we know Spider-Man, like I said earlier, he's a kid. He has fear. Once I see, but that's the point. Spider-Man doesn't have fear once he puts on that mask. Or Peter doesn't have. Oh, this is so hard. I think for everything he does right, there's just one or two things he does wrong. Granted, you could say that the same here, like, oh, but he has an instant kill mode, yada yada yada. Okay, I get that, but like, minus the suit, he's still, as a pure character portrayal, Tom Holland's still a better portrayal of Spider-Man than Tobey's Spider-Man was. And last one, the best one, Japanese Spider-Man. Why is he here? Because he's a weeb and I'm a weeb too. Let's go, baby. Okay, I think that's the end, right? Yeah, there's nothing more. Is there anything I missed? I guess for a quick rendition, let's look at all the Spider-Mans. Let's just do a suit. If I had to rank suits, because I'm an SIMP, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 4, then 5. Is that all the Spider? Yeah, I'll just do those suits. I think Sam Raimi's Spider-Man suit is probably the best. That's it. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw here, which you should, because this was a mess. I hope you all enjoyed it. Liked. Because this is going on YouTube. This is just my little YouTube spiel. If you enjoyed it, like the video, comment, subscribe. If you hate it, dislike it, tell me why I'm trash, and yeah. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you for the bits, and bye bye.